Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting, as we get set to take a look at the late pick four at Tampa Bay Downs for Saturday, February 10th. It includes a stop on the road to the Kentucky Derby. The Sam F. Davis Stakes is their 10th race. That's a prep for the Tampa Bay Derby on the road to the first Saturday in May. So, Jim, let's start with the stakes races. We'll go in order here. The 9th, and then we'll come back to our pick four tickets at the end. So the 9th is the Endeavor Stakes, fillies and mares, 4 and up going a mile, and a 16th. Who did you land on?
Well, I landed on two horses, and I really couldn't separate them. Donna Bruja and La Cornell. If this were at Keeneland, I think I would go with La Cornell. She was so good there, but it's not. And I think Donna Bruja is just as good as she is. Donna Bruja almost beat Desita in the Beverly D back in August, and came back and ran the First Lady at Keeneland. Ran well, but got beat by Zapesa and Hawksmoor, and then laid off for a little while, and I think she's going to be ready for a return to the races. La Cornell won the QE2 Cup at Keeneland last time out, Class Act. I couldn't separate this. I'm going to do the little exacta box with a 2 and 7 and use both of them in the pick four. Don't really see anybody else in here that's really got a great chance to beat them. Wested for Grand Motion obviously has some back class, but I just don't think that she's quite in the same realm. Truly Together for Matson Rosario might have a shot on the inside to get a piece of the prize, but I think it's a two-horse race.
Yeah, I couldn't get past those two as well. I would. I'm not even going to use Wested in the pick four, but if you want to try to split the two favorites in an exacta, she might not be the worst choice because she's coming back on short rest, and it's not a normal move for Grand Motion, so might suggest that he thinks she either didn't get much out of the last race or had some other issues. So, but I would give a slight edge to Donna Bruja as well. I like Jose Ortiz taking the ride, and she won off a layoff last year, which I like to see as well. Let's go to the 10th race. It's the Grade 3 Sam F. Davis Stakes. That's also our Keeneland Select video pick of the week that Katie Gensler and I talk about. 3-year-olds going a mile and a 16th. And I started to go to Catholic Boy, and then I switched to Vouch, and I finally ended up on Flame Away, trying to find a little bit of a price. I like when 3-year-olds come out with a better number in their 3-year-old debut than anything they did at 2, and this horse did that. Now, it was on turf, but turf to dirt's a good angle for Mark Casse. This horse won on an off-track, off-the-turf race here at Keeneland, so has won on something other than turf, and that was last fall in the Bourbon, and has a good work on the 27th of January, and I think I just get a little bit of a price here, so I want to use Flame Away to win, but I'm going to play him with Catholic Boy, Vouch, and Hollywood Star in exactas, and then spread a little bit. I certainly am not going to single in the pick four, but I'm going to try to beat the two likelier winners with Flame Away. How about you?
Yeah, it seems like this race a lot of times has a long shot because it's one of the first Derby preps. These horses are still getting better, obviously, and I could make a case for Flame Away, especially off that Bourbon win last year at Keeneland on the sloppy track. I went up going with Catholic Boy here just because the turf to dirt in the Remsen was just incredible at a mile and an eighth, and he's been working up a storm at Tampa, so I think he's a deserving favorite here, but I'm not going to single him in the pick four either. Hollywood Star scratched from Holy Bull last week to run here for Dale Romans, but he didn't run very well in Breeders' Cup Juvenile, had a bad post, so if you throw that out, he fits well on class. Vouch, the 7, ran behind Catholic Boy in the Remsen and could improve. Only 3 lifetime starts. So obviously with a 72 and 81 buyer first 2, he's got room to improve. And Vino Rosso, you got to throw him in there because of Pletcher and Velasquez. He really hadn't raced against much at Tampa or Aqueduct, but he's won very easily. So 2 for 2 lifetime. So I'm going to take Catholic Boy on top, but I would use your horse Flame Away and the other 3 that I talked about.
Go to the 11th race, the Grade 3 Tampa Bay. 4-year-olds it up on the turf at a mile and a 16th, and I would think World Approval is going to be a big favorite in here. Are you going to try to beat him?
Yeah, 2 to 5 morning line. I can't see anybody beating him in here. His worst buyer in the last 5 is better than anybody else's in here. The Fire Away, possibly for Suge McGahee, but he would have to improve on that Artie Schiller effort back in New York back in November, and he could do that. I mean, Jose Ortiz is riding, and if World Approval needs one, possibly, but he hasn't run since the Breeders' Cup Mile. He won the Breeders' Cup Mile. He's won $2.9 million, and he outclasses these horses by a long way. I think Forge, the 6 horse, could get a piece of it, but if you have an alternate to World Approval, I suppose it's Fireaway, simply because he is getting better. Ran a bunch of 90s and ran a 102 in the Arctic Schiller. Can't get past World Approval, though, for the pick 4.
I'm going to try to spread in the pick 4 and hopefully catch World Approval, maybe needing one coming into the new year off the layoff. But I can't pick against him for the win pick in the race. But the horses I'm going to use Fireaway. I'm going to use Lequin. I think getting back on the turf is the right move for that horse. And then Forge, I think, is one I think I've always had a high opinion of for Bill Mott. So all 3 of those, if you want to go deeper, Western Reserve and Dr. Mounty, I think you could make a lesser case for. But I'm going to spread a little bit in the pick 4 and try to get World Approval beat, but certainly can't pick against him for the win pick. So the 12th race is a claimer. Let's just go with our pick 4 tickets. I'm going to lead off with the 2 we talked about, Donna Bruja, La Cornell, in the 9th. 10th race, I'm going to use Flame Away, Catholic Boy, and Vouch, so 2, 6, 7. Then I'm going to use 4 horses in the Tampa Bay, World Approval, Forge, Lequin, and Fire Away. And then I'm going to finish up by going 5 deep, horses that have all, I think, been proven to win some races out of these low-level claimers. Mill Hill Place, the 2, 3 Big Awesome, 5 Marble Falls, 6 Political Justice, and 10 He's Attained. So 2, 3, 5, 6, 10 in the last leg. So I go 2, 7 by 2, 6, 7 by 3, 6, 7, 8 with 2, 3, 5, 6, 10. That's a $60 ticket. How about you?
Okay, I'm going to go 2, 7 in the first leg with the 2 that we talked about, Donna Brujo and La Cornell. And I'm going to go 5 deep in the Sam F. Davis with the 3, 5, 6, 7, and then as you did it, I added the horse that you loved in there, the
2
the 2 horse. So 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So Flame Away, Vino Rosso, Hollywood Star, Catholic Boy, and Vouch. Then I am going to single World Approval, the 7 horse in the 11th, and I'm going to make it real easy for everybody. I'm going to take it all in the last race. A 6250 claimer with a 7-2 favorite. Big Awesome and Malbec to me are the obvious ones, but they certainly, I mean, you can't really throw out anything. So that's a $60 ticket as well. 2, 7 with 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 with 7 with all.
And hoping to catch a big one in the last leg if you're live.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Well, best of luck to everybody with your Saturday wagers at Tampa Bay Downs or wherever you are playing. Keep your Keeneland Select account funded so you can take advantage of any opportunities, and spring meet's not too far away. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach for the End the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.